We're good? I'm on? Okay, folks, and welcome to Providence, Rhode Island. And you are witnessing the first broadcast of the 2025-26 season. And sorry, we had a few bugs trying to work it out, of course, at the last minute. And today's matchup, Mid-Fairfield Junior Rangers 2010 versus BK Selects 2010. And if a couple of folks could just note at home, please, if we're coming through okay. If you wouldn't mind doing that, it's always reassuring to me that you guys can actually hear me and I'm just not talking about nonsense. So on the parent chat, if you can comment that you can hear or that it sounds garbled, just let us know. Thanks to Mr. Scranton for bailing me out. And we have the indomitable Steve Carey on camera to start the game. And to start off, we have Chris Feich going to be the goalie for today's game. And starting lineup, you have Yanni Malefis at center, Carey and Ruff up front. Audrey and Shunk on defense. And folks, I'm going to apologize right away about the names. Got a lot of new players, and so I'm going to struggle. So just feel free to correct me, and we'll try to do that. So BK controls the puck in their own zone. Ruff with a forecheck, and BK breaks it out across the neutral zone, drives it to the side. Baudry gives chase behind Feich, and BK controls behind Feich. Pulls the puck behind the Mid-Fairfield net, out to the BK defenseman. Shot, and it's blocked by Yanni Malefis, thrown behind there again. BK just cycling the puck right around on Mid-Fairfield. Mid-Fairfield struggling to gain the zone, gain control of the puck. BK again with the puck. Shunk tries to come in, and finally able to get it to Malefis, who looks up ice, tries to connect to Ruff, and the puck is tipped out into the benches. So we'll have a stoppage in play here. 16:05 left. So in this game, there's going to be 3 periods. The boys have been used to playing halves so far this season. So on the ice, you have Scranton with Pan, and looks like Lutke. Lopiano back on defense. Puck turned over. Lopiano picks it up. And here comes Mid-Fairfield. Scranton with a turnover at center ice. And Conroy from BK gains control, puts the puck over right in front of Feich. The BK goal, the BK player slides into Chris Feich, but Feich is able to get the glove on it before the BK could tap it in. So BK, one of the top teams in the United States last year. Conroy at center against Scranton. Win by BK. Christini slides it over out to the defenseman. Shot, save, another shot, and saved by Feich under his arm. So far, BK testing Mid-Fairfield early here. Coach changes out his line, has Johnston come out. Reese Johnson at center. Tied up with a BK player, puck thrown there. Lopiano, but it turns it over to BK. BK behind Feich, tied up by Mid-Fairfield, but BK still out with the puck over into the corner. Met by 2 Mid-Fairfield players. BK with the puck behind and around, right in front of Feich, who was able to make the save and then kick the net off. So at 15:21, Mid-Fairfield unable to get out of their own zone. So Figurino out there now with O'Neill. Johnston still at center. Win by Mid-Fairfield. Picaro throws it over. LeConte puts it out to center ice, but there's BK with controlling the puck in the neutral zone. BK defenseman whiffs on it, throws it out. O'Neill there to pick up the errant pass, but just dumps it right back in. Here comes BK, but stolen LeConte now up with the puck. Figurino with the steal, and the puck now behind the BK goalkeeper. Johnston now with the puck, turns it over to the corner. BK and mid-Fairfield meet in the corner and turns over right in front of the BK goalkeeper. BK comes flying out into the mid-Fairfield zone, dumps it in behind Fage. O'Neill gives chase, trying to tap it out to LeConte. And it's turned over once again in the neutral zone. BK regroups, cross center ice into the mid-Fairfield zone. O'Neill meets the BK player, Russo, forces a turnover, but now we're gonna have a penalty here on mid-Fairfield. O'Neill chases up into the corner, and it's tapped finally by mid-Fairfield. So mid-Fairfield is gonna head off at 14:06. It's gonna be Correa with the penalty. Interference at 14:06 in the first period. So mid-Fairfield right away digging itself a hole, gonna be on the penalty kill. 2 minutes at the midget level. So your penalty killers, you've got Zoo out there. It's controlled by BK. Yale fumbles with the puck, but slides it back over to his defensive partner. And it's tipped by Malefus. Malefus dangerous with that tip on the point. Had a bunch of shorthanded goals last year, able to pull that one off. Spang now enters the zone, but does it prematurely. And we're gonna have an offside against BK. So you've got to keep an eye on number 42 from BK, Bo Christini, one of the more dynamic players for BK. And he's out there running the penalty power play for BK and thrown out of the zone. Yale picks it up and enters the mid-Fairfield zone, looks for a teammate, but decides to dump it over into the corner. Lynn now with the puck. Rough out at the point, trying to kill off the penalty. Out in front, saved by Feach with the stick. Lynn now met by Malefus and forced out of the zone. BK looks to regroup in the neutral zone. And here comes BK across the blue line out front. Loses the handle, throws it out, still 58 seconds left. Lynn now up at the point. BK passing it around, Drew. Out in front, and it's tapped in. So just some crisp passing out of BK, and they have the early lead on mid-Fairfield, 12:55 left. That's the thing about BK. They've got 2 or 3 players that just look past first, and they were just passing it around tape to tape. Nothing the mid-Fairfield defenders could do about that one. Mid-Fairfield's gonna have to stay out of the box against this team. Scranton at center, he's surrounded by Pan and Lukey. Lopiano and Shunk out on D. Lopiano forces it into the zone along with Scranton. Scranton hits the brakes and deflects off a BK player. Lukey able to force it behind the net. Scranton gives chase off into the other corner. Shunk pinches in along with Scranton. They're trying to get it out to their defenseman, but BK shutting down the zones. Stolen by Scranton, and they're going to say the net was off. So 12:27 left in the first period. BK up early, 1-0 on a power play goal. Got the same lines out there. Lopiano and Shunk out on defense. Ref admonishing mid-Fairfield players out to Lopiano. He takes a shot, deflects off the BK player, and is forced out of the zone. But stolen by Lukey at center ice, but then turned right back over to Spang. Mid-Fairfield went for the steal, and here comes Spang. Spang circles around looking for his defenseman and turns the puck over. Here comes Scranton with a full head of steam. Down the boards, curls in, loses the handle. Throws it over to Lukey, but a little too strong. Lukey with a big hit to the boards. Stolen back by Scranton. Looking for a partner. And Mid-Fairfield turns it over in the BK zone. Coccaro back on defense, plays the puck well, but BK's still there. Player doesn't realize that it was at his feet, and here comes Mid-Fairfield. Coccaro now across center ice. Coccaro looks for a dance partner, throws it over to Ware, dumps it into the corner, whipped by the BK player. And dumped back in the BK zone, delayed offside. BK looks to break it out. Mid-Fairfield with a solid forecheck. Long pass. It's going to be no icing. Hurl gets there first. Coccaro gets the puck up. Johnston turns his back on it. Didn't see the pass coming. No icing. Coccaro's got to race down there. BK gets down there too. Puck is loose. Now here comes Mid-Fairfield. Johnston tries to throw it over to Ware, unable to connect. And here comes Mid-Fairfield. Correa now up with the puck, slides it up, but just can't connect to Ruff. And here comes BK, flies up the boards. A little too strong on the pass. O'Neill gets there. O'Neill hammered into the glass. And here comes Coccaro, surveys the ice, hits Ruff in stride, but Ruff unable to handle it on the stick. Puck drifts off into the corner. Malefus there, who's hammered into the boards. Malefus still fighting with his skates to keep the puck in there, along with Ruff, tapped out. And here comes BK, slides down out in front of Feach, who's able to stick it to the side. Yale now winds up, shoots, and Chris Feach scoops up the puck like an infielder. Stops play here. 9:50 left in the first period. BK up early, 1-0 on a power play goal. So win by Mid-Fairfield, thrown out of the zone, and that's going to be an icing on Mid-Fairfield. It's one thing you're going to see that the boys are going to have to get better at. It's just throwing the puck out of their zone. You've got possession. You've got to hold on to that puck. So they're going to reload right to the side of Feach once again. Scranton at the face-off. Win by BK. Oh, and it's nice play by Ludke to tip the puck out with that long stick. Ludke on the forecheck, and it's turned over to Shunk. Shunk, though, turns it right back over at center ice, and BK's content to dump it in. O'Neill hammered, and now BK back up with it. Gets a tip on it, the stick. BK now very active behind Feach. Shunk is there. And now we're going to have another penalty, another interference play. So O'Neill's going to head off. So Mid-Fairfield, again, heads to the penalty box here. And this BK team, they can move the puck around. So Malefus, the penalty killer, with a penalty win. With Fairfield a little bit out of position, trying to get back and onto the side of Feach. Oh, nice play by Lucas Ruff, tie up the player, and shot out by Vinny Zhu. Malefus with the forecheck, right by the BK goalkeeper. And Spang now up with the puck. There. Throws it right out of the zone. Nice play. Just puck dribble down there. Malefus races down, forcing the goalkeeper to come out and field it. Yanni Malefus with that speed. Trying to force an error on BK. And here comes BK. Looks to set up shop here. Spang now throws it over to Yale, fakes a shot, back to Spang, again, passing, and the net comes off. Fortunate for Mid-Fairfield. Fairfield there. BK had them coming and going with the passing, crisp passing, tape to tape so far out of BK. Mid-Fairfield fortunate there, had the net fall off. So Scranton at the center, but a win by BK up at the point. BK there, passed it up for a better one. Shot, saved by Faitch, way up in the air. And it's thrown out of the zone. And here comes Scranton now to force the players back. Tillman from BK forced behind his own net. Scranton gives a look. Cross-ice passing, BK beats the press from mid-Fairfield and enters the zone immediately. Whiffed on by the BK player, but BK there throws it out. Scranton's trying to get at it, finally does to Ludke. Ludke finally throws it over, pass to Scranton, and that's going to be an icing. So mid-Fairfield able to kill off the penalty, but Ludke trying to connect to Scranton on a long pass, unable to do so. So mid-Fairfield spent a lot of time in their zone here. The dangerous BK team. Win by BK. They control the puck. Mid-Fairfield able to tap it out, and here comes LeConte, tries to get it to Johnston, unable to do so, and it's turned over to Zoo, who taps it back in. BK and mid-Fairfield exchanging turnovers, and it's thrown back in by Marks from BK. Zoo gives chase, and he's hammered into the boards. Back out to the blue line, mid-Fairfield blue line shot, and Faitch with a quick glove there to stop play. 6:31 left in the first period. BK up 1-0 over mid-Fairfield. Power play goal early on in the game. Shot by Faitch and another glove save. So Figueroa is the center here. Got LeConte out there with Reese Johnston. Figueroa trying to get the puck out. There's BK with a steal out into the slot. Saved by Faitch off the blocker. That's the thing about this team. You can't make a mistake with them. They will make you pay. Almost making mid-Fairfield pay there. And Johnston tries to get it deep into the zone, able to do so. Zoo with the steal shovels it into the BK zone, and it's going to cause an offside there. 5:58 left in the first period. Malefus, Correa, and Ruff out there. Baudry and Shunk out as well. Puck drifts off into the corner. BK trying to cycle it around. Shunk able to kick it back temporarily, now throws it back in the zone. Mid-Fairfield with virtually no offensive game here so far, but now they're on the side of the BK net, out in front, shot, save. Correa was able to whip around with his stick to get a shot on the BK goalkeeper, but came up only with pad there. So mid-Fairfield unable to get anything going offensively with 5:36 left in the first period. Malefus at center, he's got Ruff and Correa. Baudry out there with Shunk, shot by Baudry, and it's in! Mid-Fairfield able to capitalize. The BK goalkeeper could not see the puck, and Baudry is able to just take a shot from the blue line and beat the BK goalkeeper. That's the thing about you put the puck on net, good things happen. Not an especially hard shot. Looked like, if anything, it was a knuckler, but the goalkeeper couldn't see it. So credit Baudry with his first goal of the year for mid-Fairfield. Mid-Fairfield able to tie it up. Not much offense going here. Big hit. by Baudry, and able to force it out. Here comes Malefus. He's trying to get a full head of steam. Gets it over to Baudry. And we're going to have an interference call once again. And it's going to be, this time it's going to be on BK. So the speedy Yanni Malefus coming to play here. Player forced to have an interference call. So for the first time, we're going to see Mid-Fairfield's #1 power play unit. You got Scranton out there with Malefus, Ruff, Lukey, and Caccaro. Win by BK, and it's whipped around the boards. Lukey unable to keep it in. I don't think Jackson Lukey understood. There's no icing here. So, but he picks up the puck nonetheless, gains the zone, skates by a couple BK players, overskates it, but luckily Scranton's there. Thought he had Caccaro coming in the slot and unable to keep it in the zone. So Mid-Fairfield will reset here. 1:27 left in the interference call, but it's turned over in the corner. Mid-Fairfield fortunate to get it back. Caccaro drifts back into the corner, resets, gets it to Ruff, and it's stolen by BK again. Ruff falls down at center ice, and BK has control of the puck. Woller's able to shovel it in behind Feach, leaves it for Caccaro. Caccaro now leading the charge up the ice, dumps it back for Malefus. Malefus across center ice, gains the zone, leaves it back for Lukey, loses the handle. Mid-Fairfield's gonna have to come out of the zone. Lukey on his own, gains the zone. One-handed with a stick, and he's hammered into the glass. Oh, nice play by Malefus to keep it in. Malefus with a shot, it's blocked. And Lukey again is hammered. Here comes Malefus. Malefus slides it over to Caccaro. Caccaro back across the ice, and Malefus loses the handle. And there's going to be an offside on Mid-Fairfield. So Mid-Fairfield looking a little disjointed on the power play, but towards the end they were getting set up, but unable to get any shots on net. 16 seconds left. Second power play team will come in. Correa, Pan, and Johnston will get a chance with Lopiano and Hurl. Ref is going to throw out both players. Johnston comes in. Mid-Fairfield with a win. Lopiano up with it over to Hurl. Hurl, tries to connect to Johnston, unable to do so. Now the puck's sitting there. Thrown out of the zone, deep into the zone. And that's going to kill off the penalty. Lopiano now up with it. It turns it over to BK, but luckily comes up with a steal. Tries to get it out of the zone, throw it out to Johnston. Icing waved off. Johnston gives chase. Pan now dislodges the puck. Gets it to Correa, shot. It's blockered aside. And here comes BK, slides it across the ice, stolen by Johnston across center ice, gets it to Correa, back to Johnston, and a shot right onto the goalkeeper, who's able to absorb it into his stomach. 2:28 left in the first period. We're all knotted up here at 1. So Ware, Fuggerino, O'Neill, Zoo, and LeConte are out. Fuggerino at center. Win by Mid-Fairfield. Ware gets it over to Zoo, who knocks it back over to Ware. Fuggerino now up with it behind the net. Out to O'Neill, and it's stolen by Conroy from BK. BK player gets by Zoo, but Zoo's able to hang with him just for a second there. The player's now behind Feach, and stolen by Caccaro. Caccaro looks up ice, decides to skate it himself. Fuggerino gets by one player and is hauled down, but no call. Fairfield definitely a lot more physical here. O'Neal winds up, shot, tipped by Fagarino, goes by the goalkeeper. Back out in front, shot by LeConte, saved by the BK goalkeeper. Oh, and Fagarino's hit from behind. No call, he's still up with the puck. Shot, deflects off a BK player and thrown out. Zoo with a nice play to keep it in, but they're gonna say hand pass. So 1:26 left in the first period. We're all tied up, one apiece. Malefis back at center. He's got Vartanian out there with Ruff. Audrey and Shunk out on D. Shunk able to drive it in. Doglegs out to the BK goalkeeper. Shunk trying to keep the puck in, but he's beaten. Shunk using that long stick, though, to prevent the passes. And here comes BK. And the puck turned over. Baudry now up with it. Tries to get it to Vartanian, who taps it out to Malefis. Malefis all by himself, but gets it to Baudry. Shot way wide. Shot out. Mid-Fairfield unable to control it. It's turned back over to BK. He throws it off to the side of the net. They look to break it out. D-to-D pass. Puck now into the center and turned over. Mid-Fairfield's gonna have a 2-on-1 here. You got Vartanian and Malefis. Vartanian over. Oh, they just had Ruff coming in as the trailer and missed it. So now BK on the other side will have some numbers. Beautiful passing shot, deflects off a Fage, and Mid-Fairfield fortunate to escape that one. They had a 3-on-1. BK still with the puck and finally turns it over to Kakaro. Here comes Lutke now across the BK blue line. Dipsy Doodle, it doesn't work, and now here comes BK, and that's it. So both teams exchanging chances there at the end of the first period, but we're all tied up at 1, so there'll be no ice cut. So we're just gonna take a short break, and we'll be right back at you with the game action. All right, and we're gonna get going here. So we'll start the second period. Goalies exchange zones. Fage heads over to his net. The BK netminder heads over to his. So we're gonna have Scranton, Lutke, and Pan out there to start up front with Kakaro and Hurl. Dumped into the mid-Fairfield zone. Hurl gives chase. Thrown back over to Kakaro. Kakaro hounded by the BK players. Lutke also right behind Fage, drops it over to Hurl. BK now all over this puck. Mid-Fairfield unable to get it out. Finally does, over to Kakaro, slides it over to Scranton. Scranton using that speed, tries to split the defenders. Shot, loose out in front. Oh, no Mid-Fairfield players there. Nice play by Kakaro to use his stick to prevent a breakaway. So Mid-Fairfield back up with the puck into the neutral zone. Slides it over to Pan. Pan's got Lutke. hand dumped to the ice, and the puck goes high over the goalkeeper. Puck now in the BK corner. Lukey gives chase. Along with Pan. Picaro pinches up, puck gets by him. BK's gonna have a 2-on-1 here. Feach comes out, slides it over. Oh, nice play by Matty Picaro to deny the trailer there and to intercept the pass. That was gonna be an open net for BK. And here comes BK again, but Feach fields it, deflects off the BK stick. Mid-Fairfield with a little bit of puck luck here. Scranton now across center ice gains the zone, falls to the ice, battle along the boards. Correa now gets the puck out to Ruff. Ruff curls around, shot on the ice, and it's loose. BK goalkeeper losing track for a second there, but able to maintain his composure and come up with the puck. 15-18 left to play in the second period. Win by Malafis, slides it over to Lopiano, who whiffs on it, but then credit him, comes right back with the puck, able to throw it to the opposite side. Here comes BK, who shoots it, but misses the puck. Ruff able to tap it out, and here comes Malafis. Malafis gets by the defenseman. Oh, and the puck started tumbling. Malafis unable to get a shot on. The puck's thrown over to Lopiano, who throws it back in, but it deflects off of one of the BK players. Puck stolen by Shunk. Mid-Fairfield unable to get back on side. Shunk had some skating room there, but what you couldn't see on the other side was the Mid-Fairfield wingers trying to get off the ice, causing an offside here. 14:41 left in the second period. Johnston out at center with Ware. Ware still battling, but Malley able to throw it back. Johnston now up with it over to LeConte. LeConte leaves it for Ware. Ware with a shot off the pads out in front, loose and scooped up by the BK netminder. 14:24 left in the second period. So you've got Zoo and Baudry as your defensemen. Johnston back at center. Win by Mid-Fairfield. Baudry able to dump it back in over to Johnston. Johnston circles around. Ware now with the puck stuck behind the net. Out, good passing out in front. LeConte unable to get a full stick on it. And here comes BK across the center ice. Dumps the pass. Shot, saved by Feach, kicked off to the side. Rollers now up with it from BK. Does some stick handling, able to dump it back in. Zoo gives chase. Tries to throw it out to LeConte, and here comes LeConte, but BK flies down the ice. LeConte's still with it, looking for a player, shot off the side of the net. Zoo now with the steal, winds up, shot off of a player's stick, behind the net. LeConte, who's dumped to the ice hard. Battle for the puck is Ware, out in front. Scranton unable to get there in time. Mid-Fairfield much better offensively in the second period here, taking some chances. And the puck thrown out, it hits off a Mid-Fairfield player on the bench. So 13-18 left in the second period. So you've got Lukey and Scranton and Figurino out there with O'Neill and Hurdle. Your defenseman stranded at center with the win. Back to O'Neill, winds up, shot, and it's in! Sawyer O'Neill! Boy, this is the day of the defenseman here. Baudry with his first goal, and now O'Neill with the second goal for Mid-Fairfield. So good things happening once again for Mid-Fairfield. Throwing it from the blue line. Puck not even tipped, but gets by the BK goalkeeper. So for the first time today, Mid-Fairfield with a 2-1 lead over a highly skilled BK team. Spang throws it in behind Feach. Lynn gives chase and dumps it in further behind Feach. Mid-Fairfield trying to gain control as Ludke gets it over to Scranton. Scranton's got some skating room here. Scranton with Figurino. Figurino now loses the handle on the side of the BK goalkeeper. Scranton still giving chase off into the corner, but BK throws it out. Oh, Hurl went for the steal, and here comes Spang. Spang with a shot, and it beats Faich off the blocker side. It looked like Chris Faich was going to be able to turn that away, but just credit the just amazing stick handling by Bobby Spang, one of the more skilled players in the country, and he was able to regain control of the puck and beat Faich on the blocker side. So right after Mid-Fairfield goes up 2-1, BK answers right back. Malefus at center with Ruff and Correa, and the puck goes behind to Kakaro. He's hounded immediately, gets the puck over to Shunk. Shunk threads the needle, gets it to Ruff, and he's hammered to the ice. Ruff, though, wildly throws his stick to gain control of the puck and get it to Malefus. Malefus back up to Ruff, who throws it to Kakaro. Kakaro back over to Ruff. The puck skips over his stick. Ruff still fighting for possession of the puck. High up into the air. Big hit by Correa. Oh, that's a brutal call by the ref. Colin Correa is going to head off to the box, but puck was up in the air, and Correa was playing the man with the puck, but ref's going to call that roughing, and so now Mid-Fairfield, after going up 2-1, the equalizer from BK, and now they're going to be forced to go on the penalty kill. So your penalty killers, Malefus, Ruff, Shunk, and Kakaro. Malefus at center. Out to the blue line to Yale, slides the puck over. Kakaro greets the winger, able to turn it back around. Yale at the top of the key. Some crisp passing once again by BK. Spang now up with the puck on the side of Faich. Decides against it, throws it over to Cristini at the top of the point. BK trying to close it in. Faich able to get the save, but here comes Yale. He's got the puck again, slides it in, almost stolen by Shunk, and now it is stolen. Oh, but turned over right above the face-off circle. Matty Kakaro is able to get a stick on it, but Yale able to keep it in. Tap back out, but Malefus finally able to force it out of the zone. Nice play by Mid-Fairfield. 1:06 left in the penalty. Matty Lynn circles around with the puck for BK. Looks to regroup here. Johnston on the forecheck from Mid-Fairfield. Yale throws it back to Cristini, over to Lynn. Too much on the puck, and Shunk able to throw it off the glass. Johnston greets the boards. And here comes BK. Nice play by Kakaro to get a stick on it. Yale able to keep it in. Shot, tipped, and behind. High up in the air. That's a high stick, but no call from the referee. The puck had gone into the netting. The BK player able to tap it up into the air, trying to bounce one off Faich's back. But it landed by his, I think by his Gatorade bottle, and the ref stops play here. 33 seconds left. You've got Scranton out there with Shunk, Ludke, and Kakaro. Win by BK. Controls the puck, dumps it in. Shunk able to get there first. Oh, he's not able to get it out though. Conroy now up with the puck. Conroy back up with the puck. Shot, blocker save, pad save by Faich. BK still with the puck. Kakaro able to slide it over, but only BK players are there. Now Kakaro able to lift it out. Nice play by Matty Kakaro, and Correa is free. So Mid-Fairfield able to kill off the penalty once again. Oh, and here comes BK, but an over-eager winger is going to cause an offside by BK here. I did notice our old friend Ty Sullivan, who's one of the BK players. I've yet to see Ty, so I don't know if he's out. Ty, one of the more gifted BK players, but I haven't seen him so far yet. So I have to find out what happened to him. So Scranton, Ludke, and Pan up front. Got Zoo out there with Lopiano. Win by BK, fumbled his Page, and it's thrown back in. Lopiano gives chase behind Fate, the mid-Fairfield goalkeeper. Tries to throw it off the glass, but Ludke there able to handle it. Ludke hits the brakes, tries to bank it off the glass, and he's going to cause an offside here. Or sorry, icing here. 9:27 left. So coach will run with the same group here. Bo Costini is up against Kai Scranton. Scranton now up with the puck. And here comes Lopiano, who gains the zone, tries to get by the defenseman, unable to do so. Pan now battling in the corner, along with Ludke, and BK up with the puck. Nice hit by Scranton. BK controls in the neutral zone. Dumps it in, shot, way off to the corner. BK getting there, but Zoo gets there along with Scranton. Puck turned over. Scranton now battling for the puck. It helps out Lopiano, who's able to come out with it. Woller's able to keep it in. Still battling. Dumped off to the other side. Mid-Fairfield on their heels a little bit. Nice hit by Vinny Zoo, able to dislodge the puck. Tapped out, but again, BK with the puck. And here comes Zoo now. Surveys, tries to throw it out to Ludke, gets a glove on it. It's going to prevent icing, but unable to hit his winger in stride. Here comes Matty Lynn from BK, gains the zone. Lynn tries to get by Lopiano, and that's going to be a penalty. Matty Lynn just turns on the jets and tries to get by Lopiano, and that speed forces Lopiano to haul him down here. All right, and so we're going to take a break here at 8:03. There's going to be an interference call when we come back, but we're going to take a short break. And we'll be back after the ice cut, which is about 10 minutes or so, and we'll see you folks in a little bit.
Yeah, you can leave that. I'll stop there.
Yeah, no, I don't care. I like listening to John.
You're the only one.
Steve's on the score, too.
Get a drink. I just left all my stuff there. Are you going? No, what? That's my phone. Looks like it's on.
Sorry, folks, we're gonna get a little better at this. So Mid-Fairfield was called for a penalty at the end of that cut. So we're back, 7:42 left, Mid-Fairfield on the forecheck. Scranton now with a steal, throws it out to Zoo, dumps it into the BK zone. Filiaggi carries it over, gains the zone, dump behind Feach. Bo Christini up with it, dances along the blue line, comes in. Christini dangerous behind the net with that puck. He's harassed by Zoo. Thrown out to the BK defenseman, thrown over. Christini back up with it along the glass. Christini winds up, throws it over to the other side. Loose out in front and thrown out. Yale unable to keep the puck in the zone. 51 seconds left. Mid-Fairfield goes off for a change. Yale dances around, gains the zone, out to the slot. Oh, unable to connect to Spang. Correa went for it, unable to come up with it. BK still up with the puck. Spang now up with it, dances it around, leaves it over for Christini, who's hammered into the board. Puck's turned over. Correa there along with Zoo. Zoo just trying to get it out. Able to do so with Scranton. Still fighting for possession. And I'm going to have a penalty here. And it's going to be on BK. So Mid-Fairfield able to cancel the last 13 seconds of the BK man advantage. And Filiaggi is going to head to the sin bin here at 6:16 left. Filiaggi, you're going to recognize his name as a former Penn's Elite star. Many, many years was one of Penn's Elite top player. So Scranton's out there with Ruff and Coccaro and Malefus. Malefus with a steal. Malefus thinks about going towards the net, turns the puck over, and the puck's thrown out. And that's going to be an icing because they're still on 4-on-4. So 1 second left in the penalty to Ludke. And I apologize, I thought that last penalty was on Lopiano, but it was on Ludke for a roughing call. So Ludke will come out in 1 second. You got Scranton at center along with Ruff, Coccaro, and Malefus. Win by Mid-Fairfield. Malefus dances around, throws it over to Scranton, over to Coccaro. Coccaro back over to Scranton and loses the handle at the blue line. He's immediately harassed and hauled down, no call. Malefus then loses the puck, tries to give it to Finch. Malefus retrieves his own puck and skates over it, turned over, and then there's got to be a lot of water over there because a couple of players have lost control of the puck. Ludke now up with it, slides it over to Scranton. Scranton over to Malefus. So Mid-Fairfield looks to set up shop here. Scranton dances around. He's got Ludke now behind the net. Malefus tries to slide in quietly. Scranton still with the puck. Gets it over Malefus, back to Scranton, who's shoved from behind. Ruff now up with it, loses the handle. And there's a shot on the net. Goes way wide. Malefus now up with it. Oh, beautiful pass by Malefus to Ludke, who slides it over to Coccaro. Coccaro had some free space, tried to get it to Ruff, unable to connect. Another shot. Nice save by the goalkeeper. Finch able to control it. Baudry now up with it. Slides it over to Figurino, who gets it to Coccaro. Coccaro overskates it a little bit. Gets it over to Ludke. Ludke over to Coccaro. Coccaro gets by his defenseman. Behind the back pass. Figurino unable to get the handle on it. And we've got a player down. from BK here. And the BK coach is irate now. The refs all gather together. I don't think anybody saw it. It's the problem. Looks like the BK player's all right. It's off. You can see the ref just kind of shaking his head. I don't think he saw anything. We do have 3 referees here. So you have 2 linesmen, sorry, and a ref. But no call. So still 6 seconds left in the penalty to Filiaggi. You got Johnston out there with LeConte, Figurino, Schunk, and Baudry. Johnston at the center. Win by mid-Fairfield. LeConte tries to get it to Baudry, overshoots him a little bit. Dumps it in. Johnston gives chase, looks around. Johnston comes up with the puck, but BK all over him. Here comes Bo Christini, but just overshoots the puck. Baudry tries to drive it back into the BK zone. Christini now with a beautiful pass into the slot, shot. Oh, and I believe nice stick by Figurino, got in the way there. The BK player. BK now back up with it and turns it over. Figurino now up with it. Rollers tries to steal it, but here comes Figurino now. Gets by one player, stick to side. Figurino still with the puck. Nice play by Figurino with a good shift here. And here comes mid-Fairfield. LeConte gives it up to Johnston with a shot, and it bounces off the backside of the BK player out in front. And that's going to be an icing. So 3:01 left in the second period. Figurino with a real good shift there. A couple of key plays that don't show up in the score sheet, but provided mid-Fairfield with some offensive opportunities. So Malefis back up there with Ruff. And Correa, Hurl, and Lopiano. Win by BK. Ray gives chase. Hurl with a long stick, tries to get it on Matty Lynn. Matty Lynn is knocked off by Lopiano. Good play there by Christian. And the puck skips by the BK defenseman. Here comes Correa giving chase now, stick lift. Correa still fighting for possession, along with Ruff, and here comes BK. Breaks it out of their own zone, but stolen by Malefis. Lopiano circles around, throws it over to Hurl. Gets it over to Ruff, but turns it over. Shot, patted to the side by Fage. Mid-Fairfield just trying to get it out, and finally does. Lopiano circles around. Gets it to Malefis. Taps it off to Ruff, but then turned over in the neutral zone. BK shutting down those passing lanes, and Hurl behind Fage. But BK up with the puck. Throws it out to Russo, their defenseman, who slides it over. Oh, and loses the possession. Mid-Fairfield was able to dodge one there. I think Yale's eyes got big, thinking he was going to get a shot in the slot. Just took his eye off the puck just for a second, and it skipped over his stick and into the neutral zone. Scranton up front with Luthi and Pan. Win by BK. Pan forces him back. Player falls down, stolen temporarily by O'Neill. Puck shoved in the mid-Fairfield zone. BK back up with the puck. Over to Tillman, shot, stick to side by Fage. Pan now gives chase on the opposite side. Mid-Fairfield unable to square up these BK players so far with big hits. Tillman now up with a shot, bouncing puck, and Fage able to just field the puck. That was a bounding puck headed towards Fage. He was able to play the hop right into his glove. And mid-Fairfield, smart play. They're going to go on a power play here because they resisted the urge to retaliate. Conroy, with a roughing penalty, is going to head off to the box here. It's never a wise thing to shove down a player right in front of a ref and then credit Mid-Fairfield for not responding in kind. And now with 1:21 left in the second period, he's got a big chance here for Mid-Fairfield. Scranton on the draw. Ludke up with the puck, circles around, leaves it for Malefus. Malefus surveys, throws it over to Kakaro. Malefus at the top of the key, switches places with Kakaro, tries to get by the winger behind the net, tries to get Ludke. Ludke's shot, and it's loose. And BK is able to throw it out of his zone. Faich able to field it. Kakaro there, leaves it for Malefus. Malefus using that speed, getting by one BK player. He's got some skating room. Malefus just chooses to set up shot instead of bringing it right to the net. Kakaro now over to Ludke. Ludke with a shot, bounces off of Gale's legs. Ruff now up with it. Ruff wisely slows things down. Mid-Fairfield doing a good job cycling the puck. Now Ludke, BK player falls down, but Ludke unable to get there in time. Ludke slides it over to Malefus. Over to Ruff. Ruff out in front, loose, shot, through the crease. Nobody there from Mid-Fairfield, and Ruff is hammered into the glass. But no call. Now, I don't know how you aren't calling that. Lucas Ruff was in a vulnerable position. The BK player hit him from behind, well short of the glass. And then, of course, what's going to happen is Mid-Fairfield going to stick up for their teammate. So Ludke's going to head off. And no call from the ref there. So Mid-Fairfield is going to have their power play disappear. And Ruff is down hurt. It's how that wasn't a penalty is beyond me. So I don't know if the refs are going to talk about it. Yeah, they are. I mean, you could see clear as day, Lucas Ruff was in a vulnerable position, way far away from the glass, and was hammered from behind. Mid-Fairfield's got to resist the urge to retaliate, just let this play out. So here comes the ref, and they're calling the penalty on Ludke.
No way. No way.
And he's going to throw Ludke out of the game. Ref getting both the team captains together. Still nobody from BK entering the box. And actually, I apologize, folks. That's a BK player down. And so Jackson Ludke is going to head off. I apologize. I couldn't see it around the corner. So while we wait, Jackson Ludke is going to head to the locker room. And the BK player, so I apologize. Lucas Ruff looks like he's okay. But the BK player who went down is still down, so we hope that he is all right. And again, folks, I apologize about that. I couldn't see around the corner, and when the players all moved, you can see the BK player still lying down there after the hit, I believe, from Ludke. And Ludke has left the ice. There's 14 seconds left. Ludke's been assigned a major penalty, so 5 minutes. Just the reffing so far has been interesting. And the game's starting to get a little chippy with both teams. We saw something similar in the Mid-Fairfield game with Devin Beck going down hard. And, you know, Devin's at home feeling much better, according to Dad, and we're grateful for that. That he's going to, I believe, come back to practice next week. But you never like to see something like this, see the players laying on the ice like this. So. So the trainer's out there with a BK player. Can't see what is, unfortunately, folks, and I apologize again, I blew that call, and I'm just in a bad spot to see who it is. It's a railing right in my way. So we've got 14.9 seconds left in the second period. We're going to play 4-on-4 for the 14.9 seconds. And then we're going to have a short break in between the second and third period once we get going here. Players still down on the ice being attended to by the trainers. things have definitely gotten a little chippy in the game, and you hate to see this kind of stuff. Just praying that the young man will get up shortly. It seemed like an eternity that Devin Beck was down on the ice, and it must have felt that way for Dad last weekend.
Go to your bench if you're bored. Better come take home and just remember 98.
So couldn't hear what the ref just said to the player that was in the box from BK, but the player skated out of the box, probably just told him he can go get a drink of water or something, go talk to his coach.
Well, I can't imagine. You've got to be worried with your left hand.
Oh, yeah.
Exactly.
So the player from BK still being attended to. Mid-Fairfield players, along with the BK counterparts, are all on a knee or skating around very quietly. So folks, if you're just tuned in, had a penalty against BK, and unfortunately the player has been laying on his back just near the face-off circle, and they're going to have the EMTs come out and retrieve the young man. So the EMTs are still working on the player from BK. Scary sight. It's something that every hockey parent just does not want to see. So the thoughts and prayers are out to that young man. Hopefully he's all right as the EMT takes him away. All right, we're gonna start to get going here again. But boy, let's put things into perspective for you very quickly. And just, you hope that young man is all right. All right, so we're gonna get back at it. 14.9 seconds left in the second period. Paul Vartanian is going to serve the penalty for Luki, who has been ejected from the game. Scranton at the face-off circle, win by Scranton over to Hurl. Dumps it out. And at least 7 seconds left as there's an icing. And I also see out of the corner of my eye, Ty Sullivan behind the BK goalkeeper, former Mid-Fairfield player, now at BK. So Ty must be out. Win by Mid-Fairfield, stolen, out in front, shot, deflects, and that's the horn. So we will take a very short break and be right back at it with you. All right, folks, thank you for that brief timeout. And so Mid-Fairfield with a win, they're gonna play 4-on-4 for the next 30 seconds. Then Mid-Fairfield's gonna be forced to kill off some time. Scranton feeds Malefus, he loses control of the puck. Picaro now, oh, Mid-Fairfield's gonna be on a penalty. Draws the penalty, Malefus, using that speed to draw the hook. And so now some more time off of BK's 5-minute major is erased. Russo heads to the box along with Conroy. So they're gonna still skate 4 aside for the next 2 minutes. So Malefus is out there with Scranton, Baudry, and Shunk. We're still tied up 2 apiece. Grags is making some last-minute changes. Scranton on the draw here. Win by BK and throws it out. Baudry goes back. Picks up the puck behind Fage, surveys. Baudry still surveying things. shot that doesn't hit the net. Malefus trying to keep the puck in. Scranton with a steal. Scranton now into the slot. Shot and in! Kai Scranton is able to just slam the puck in and able to beat the BK goalkeeper. And Mid-Fairfield able to go back ahead now, 3-2. .16:02 left. And I know at home we have EJ Faich watching with his grandmother, so hopefully EJ saw that tremendous shot from Kai Scranton. I know EJ fancies a shot like that quite himself in mite hockey. So Mid-Fairfield will, the good thing is they scored. The bad thing is now they're down to 4 players. Oh, I'm sorry, yeah. So we're still gonna skate 4 apiece. Ruff forces the BK player behind his own net. Here comes Bo Christini, the dangerous player, gains the zone, hits the brakes, throws it out, tipped by Mid-Fairfield. Oh, whiffed on by Yale, throws it behind Faich. Still battling. Christini up with it at the blue line, dances around, out in front. Maddie Lynn at the point. Oh, stolen. Oh, nice play by Scranton. You can tell his eyes were getting big there. He had some skating room. So 15:07 left in the third period. Mid-Fairfield up 3-2 on a big goal from Kai Scranton. Johnston, Figurino are out there with Hurl and O'Neill. Shot, blocker saved by Faich, save. Nice play by Johnston to deny the shot. Figurino's able to dump it in. Still on his knees is Figurino, but finally loses the handle. Conroy throws it cross ice, but Hurl there with a long stick to steal the puck. O'Neill shoved from behind, no call. Saved by Faich off the shoulder. I don't know if he even saw that. Long pass. Unable to connect, and BK looks to regroup. So now BK is at a full complement of players. Mid-Fairfield down 1 for the next 1:53 left. BK through the neutral zone. Maddie Lynn gains the zone. Throws it to the other side. Spang now throws it out to the top of the key to Yale. To do so, Spang gets it over to Christini. Slides it over to Lynn. Back over to Yale at the top. Over to Christini, back in front. Oh, and misses the net. Spang with a nice shot, but just barely misses the net. Mid-Fairfield fortunate there. Behind his own net. BK well aware of Yanni Malefus' speed. BK gains the zone. Goes out, saved by Faich. And there's going to be a trip. Trouble here. 54 seconds left in the penalty. Trying to kill off the 5-minute major. And Baudry's. So Mid-Fairfield up by a goal, but down by 2 players here. And I think Coach Graggs wisely is going to take a timeout here and kind of talk about things. So critical juncture in the game here for Mid-Fairfield. So I would like to thank our cameramen that have so ably brought this video to you. So now we have Jimmy Violante on the camera, and Joe will be going tomorrow. I believe it's against the Rockets. So Joe will get tomorrow's game, and it'll be Jimmy's chance to be nervous behind the net. So big moment for Mid-Fairfield here. They got 54 seconds to kill off the first penalty. So you got Malafas, Scranton, and Caccaro, Mid-Fairfield's two penalty killers. Faitch in net, win by BK. Christini up with the puck, dances around behind Faitch. You got to watch him though. He does the Michigan a lot. Christini, he thought about it, out in front, and he lost the handle. That's exactly what happened. Out in front, loose. Lynn now up with it, over to Christini. He dances it over his stick. Up with it. BK trying to close the zone. Bobby Spang with a deceptive shot along the ice. Christini now up with it, and it hits the side of the net. And Faitch is able to knock it off. And he throws up his hands, but that didn't hurt Mid-Fairfield right there to get a whistle. Get some fresh legs there. Malafas will stay out there. No, Malafas. So you got Lucas Ruff out there with Carre and Zoo, win again by BK. Christini now with the puck. He's going to try it again, but lost the handle. Out in front, loose. Faitch is able to get a pad on it. Oh, and big stop by Mid-Fairfield there. Loose puck in the crease. The first penalty is expired, so Mid-Fairfield gains a player back. And Faitch, along with his defenseman, able to secure the puck under his pad. 12:06 left in the game. Mid-Fairfield clinging to a 3-2 lead. BK was on a 5-on-3, still on the 5-on-4. Win by Mid-Fairfield. Beautiful play by Ruff to get the puck out, but BK with the steal. Shot. Faitch able to get a pad down. Another shot, way wide of the net. BK looks to reload. Mid-Fairfield just desperate to try to get the puck out. Oh, and the player from BK, Fitzsimmons, looks like he just didn't know the puck was coming. Puck skips out of the zone, and BK reloads. Ruff now with the forecheck. Ruff chases and forces BK back. Malafas looking for the steal there. Oh, and he wraps that puck around, the stick around, trying it for the puck. Russo now forced back, and it's turned over. Mid-Fairfield, and here comes Ruff, who's able to shove the puck down to the BK zone. And Mid-Fairfield goes off on 3. Big moment for Mid-Fairfield defensively here. Now the puck through the neutral zone. BK gains the zone, but loses the puck. Puck out to LeConte, who doesn't see it. And they're going to have an icing call. 10:48 left in the third period. So win by BK, but it's shot right off the player. Puck skips out and way wide of the net. And Fairfield races over into the corner along with Hurl. Hurl tries to throw it to the opposite side. Johnson doesn't get there in time, but able to deflect the puck. Gets it to Ware. Ware dumped to the ice. and LeConte able to steal the puck. And here comes Shunk, who's able to force it in. And we're gonna have another penalty here, an interference call. And I believe, yeah, that's on BK. So Brody Shunk looked like he had the advantage to get by the BK defenseman and is able to force the issue. So again, BK now headed back to the box. So here's a power play opportunity for mid-Fairfield, straight at the center position. He's got Caccaro out there with Correa, Lopiano, and Malefus. Win by BK. But mid-Fairfield with the steal, throws it out to Caccaro. Caccaro over to Malefus. Malefus surveys, throws it back over to Caccaro. BK playing an aggressive penalty kill here. Scranton now up with the puck behind the net. Scranton now still up with it, looking for Malefus. Gets it over to Caccaro though. Malefus back up with it, the top shot, misses the net entirely. Caccaro races over there, but not in time. He's hounded by a BK player, but gets it over to Malefus, but it's turned over at the mid-Fairfield blue line. And Caccaro picks up the errant pass, gets it over to Scranton. Scranton gains the zone. Scranton taps it back out to Caccaro, over to Malefus. Over to Lopiano, to Scranton, shot, out in front, loose puck! And it skips out of the zone. Faitch races out of the net, throws it deep, tries to get it to Correa, and they're unable to handle it cleanly. BK back up with it, throws it the length of the ice. Faitch leaves it for Caccaro. Got 8:56 left, 41 seconds left in the power play here. Malefus now using that speed, gets by two players, gains the zone. He's got Johnston on his side, gets it over to Baudry, shot! Oh, it hit the crossbar. Malefus with another shot on the side. Baudry tries to keep the puck in, unable to do so. Mid-Fairfield came within about a millimeter of scoring. Puck turned over in the neutral zone, and that's gonna kill, now it's still 10 seconds left. Baudry back up with it, behind Faitch, surveys, throws it out, unable to hit Johnston, and that's gonna cause an icing. So 2 seconds left in the penalty to BK. Mid-Fairfield came within a whisker of going up 4-2 here. Ruff at the face-off win. Oh, luckily Faitch was on his game there. Ruff won the face-off and shot it on Faitch, and Faitch was able to stop Ruff about it now, and I think it Lucas is too. Win by BK out to the blue line. Nice play by LeConte to prevent the pass to Lynn. BK passing the puck around behind their own goalkeeper. BK just throws it out, and Ruff comes up with it. Ruff taps it out to the neutral zone. BK's there to recover. Now Matty Lynn back up with it. Big hit by Baudry. Mid-Fairfield trying to pass it, but deflects off of BK's stick. LeConte still fighting, stole the puck, gets it over to Ruff. Ruff with a shot. It deflects off a BK player. Teams both battling in the corner. LeConte now tries to throw it out, does to Baudry. Baudry now with a bouncing puck. And BK's gonna have some numbers here. Mid-Fairfield gets back into the slot, turned over. LeConte has it, hits the brakes, tries to leave it for Hurl, shot. Frigorino now follows up. They're gonna call, let's see what's going on here. So it's gonna be on BK again. Mid-Fairfield applying the pressure there. 6:47 left to play in the game. And that's a big advantage for Mid-Fairfield. Bobby Spang, one of the more gifted BK players, is going to sit for 2 minutes. So Mid-Fairfield came really close last power play, hitting the crossbar. So Johnston's out there with Scranton, Lopiano, Caccaro, and Malefus. Win by BK. Caccaro circles back, collects the puck, surveys the ice. Long pass to Johnston and turns it over in the neutral zone, and it's thrown back. Fage taps the puck, leaves it for Malefus. BK's got to respect Malefus' speed. Malefus gains the zone by himself. Leaves it for Scranton. Scranton looked like he wanted to get it over to Lopiano. Scranton now still with the puck. Over to Malefus, shot! And it's off the goalkeeper. Great shot by Malefus. Scranton circles around, gets it over to Lopiano, leaves it for Scranton. Scranton surveys, looks up, gets it to Johnston. Johnston over to Malefus, back over to Caccaro, back over to Lopiano. Lopiano back to Malefus, shot! Off the blocker and off the glass. Scranton gets there, he's tied up. Malefus tries to get the puck, unable to do so, and it's out. Oh, and now that BK's got a breakaway shot and beats Fage. So BK able to cash in shorthanded on Mid-Fairfield, and we're all tied up here at 3 apiece. Mid-Fairfield just unable to handle it cleanly in the neutral zone, and it comes back to bite them. So we got a game here, folks. 5:31 left, and we're all tied up at 3 apiece. Mid-Fairfield still on the power play here. It's a game of inches. Mid-Fairfield was on the verge of going up 4-2, and now tied up at 3. Mid-Fairfield misfires, and BK is able to throw it in, turns it back over. Baudry now up with the puck. Oh, and turns it over right at the blue line. Mid-Fairfield just trying to settle things down here. Cross-ice pass. Back and forth. Ruff now tries to swat it deep into the zone, but there's going to be a face-off in the BK zone. Some of the scorekeepers up in the stands telling the clock keeper that the clock was running. So they're going to adjust the clock. So 4:55 left, and we're all tied up here. So BK tries to break it out. Mid-Fairfield back up with the puck is where. He leaves it for Hurl, shot, but it's blocked. And thrown back to the opposite side. Ware gives chase. Pins his player along the boards. Mid-Fairfield tries to come up with it, and Mid-Fairfield's gonna go off here. Eric Pan was incidental, but nonetheless causes the BK player to go down in a heap. Just swung at the puck, but ended up getting the player. So Mid-Fairfield on a crucial penalty kill here. So Malefus is at center. He's got O'Neal out there. BK wins. Yale now at the top of the key. Leaves it for Matty Lynn. Passes it along. Out in front, blocked. BK maintains possession. Out to Yale. Looks like now Lynn back with a puck. Throws it off into the corner. Lynn still with the puck. Out in front. Oh, nice play by Lucas Ruff. Lucas Ruff, one of the best mid-Fairfield penalty killers, makes a beautiful play to intercept the pass. BK trying to utilize that speed to break it out of the zone. Into the neutral zone they go. Spang now up with it. Spang over to Lynn, back to Spang. Trying that cross-ice pass. Lynn back up with it. Mid-Fairfield deep. Shot, loose. Skips by Faitch, is Shunk. Still back with the puck. Some long sticks by mid-Fairfield. Still BK passing it around at will. Yale now. Dipsy Doos tries to get it over. Misfires. Christini back up with it. Over to Yale at the blue line. Christini comes up. Saved by Faitch. Big save with a pad. Cross-ice pass back to Christini. Skips over his stick once again. And mid-Fairfield able to shove it out. Beautiful play by Shunk, who's still pushing the puck deep into the BK zone. So mid-Fairfield able to get fresh legs on. Zoo shoved into the corner along with Correa. BK back up with it, shot, misses the net. And we're all even here. Big kill by mid-Fairfield. 2:14 left. Steal by Correa, turns it over. And Vinny Zoo now up with the puck, slaps it over to Pan. Pan's hammered into the glass. Vinny Zoo doesn't see the player behind him. Gaccaro now forced to retreat. Gets it to Correa. Correa off the glass. Conroy now up with the puck. Finally leaves it for his defenseman. Woller's now up with it. Gains the zone. Hammered at center ice is Scranton and out of the zone. 1:34 left to play. Shot, and it looks like it deflected off the referee. Gaccaro now gives chase, puck tipped. Loose out in front. BK comes up with it. Here comes Woller's shot. Blocker saved by Faitch, high up in the air. Shot deflects off a Correa's stick up into the stands. 1:08 left to play. Puck took a weird dog leg. I believe it deflected off one of the referees. You can see Faitch's eyes get big there. He wasn't expecting the puck to go that direction. 1:08 left to play in the third period. We're all even here, 3 apiece. Malefus, Gaccaro, Zoo, Ruff, and Figurino out there. All right, and I believe we're gonna have a timeout. I believe BK is gonna draw something up here. So an exciting game. Some twists and turns, and hopefully the player from BK took a cross check. Hopefully he is all right. We'll hear about that after the game, I'm sure.
There is no option.
So you've got Malefus out there, Figurino, Ruff, Gaccaro, and Zoo. Filiaggi comes to take the face off, I believe, against Malafis. Win by Malafis. BK gets in there, but Fogarino with a nice play to tip the puck over to Malafis. Malafis has got rough there, shot way high. Here comes BK again, but they turn it right over to Kakaro, who forces the puck back in the zone. Yale now collects the puck, throws it back to his other defenseman, gets it up to Matty Lynn, passes it cross ice. Puck behind Feach. Puck is still loose behind Feach. BK cycling at will on the side of Feach. Out to the blue line. With Fairfield tired here. Shot! Saved by Feach, who's able to tip it up into his glove. 8 seconds left. Big face-off here. Mid-Fairfield was exhausted right there. Scranton out there at center. He's got Correa and Lopiano. Hurl is out there with Correa. Scranton at the face-off. Big face-off here. Conroy against Scranton. Win by Scranton. And Hurl is going to just tie it up. Oh, nice play by Hurl to tie it up. So we are all tied up here. And I'm... Greg.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, so we're going to go to OT here. You've got to be mindful in this overtime. Some of the more skilled players in the country play for this BK team. With Christini and Lynn, Spang. So Mid-Fairfield is going to have to watch this. They're going to switch sides. Okay, so you've got Scranton, Malafis, and Kakaro. Malafis at the center against Spang. Win by Mid-Fairfield. Kakaro up with it. Lynn forcing him behind Feach. And Kakaro surveys. Kakaro leaves it for Scranton, who leaves it for Malafis. Malafis with a full head of steam across center ice. Malafis gets by one player's shot and off the pad of the goalkeeper. Back out to Kakaro at the top of the key. Kakaro leaves it for Scranton. Oh, turns it over, and here comes BK with Feach. Saved by Chris Feach! Big save, 2-on-0, and Chris Feach comes up large. BK still with the puck, though. Mid-Fairfield now up with it. Here comes Kakaro, slides it up for Malafis. Shot! Oh, way wide. And it's pinned on the boards. BK now up with the puck onto the side of Feach, behind the net. They're going to try a backdoor play. Shot blocked by Scranton on Christini. Christini gets loose again, but another block by Malafis. Here comes Scranton, who's got to be exhausted. Kakaro able to catch the errant pass. Kakara with a very long shift here. He's been unable to get off the ice. Here comes Ruff with Kakaro. Ruff now up with the puck. Trying to give and go with Ruff, but unable to do so. Ruff now gets by his player behind the net. Ruff circles around, and it's tipped. Both teams, you can tell, are just tired here. But BK giving every ounce Mid-Fairfield can handle. And Caray's now up with the puck across center ice. Oh, leaves it for Ruff. Ruff shot! It is in! Lucas Ruff is able to cash in overtime. And Mid-Fairfield once again is able to take down BK. 3 in a row for Mid-Fairfield, and Lucas Ruff sends the Mid-Fairfield fans home happy, and that was right next to mom and dad. So Mid-Fairfield with a big win over BK in OT. And folks, what a way to end the game. Great game, and we will see you tomorrow.